Hello, hello, hello. It's me, Coach Shar, and I am giving you your newsletter video style. Now, I want to just talk with you, if I can, for a few minutes about losing your voice. I'm going to give you a story because I think stories have a tendency to stick with you a little bit more. And then I'm going to give you a few principles, coaching tips, and then I'm going to tell you about something super exciting I have coming up in November. So Lisa was about 35. She had just recently gone through a divorce, or was going through a divorce, and life didn't seem so great for her. While sitting in the courtroom, or outside the courtroom rather, waiting for her attorney to come in to the courtroom to come and get her, she saw her future ex-husband. She saw him smile and point and say a few things about her, and immediately her body language changed, and she shrank down and her shoulders fell, and she thought to herself, if only I could speak up for myself. Just one time, God. I've been quiet all my life. If only I could just get the courage to speak up for me. See, Lisa was the youngest of 5 kids, the Joneses. And unlike every other family, Lisa wasn't spoiled. She was actually shunned. Well, maybe not shunned, but she wasn't so appreciated for her input. And as such, she was told many times, run along, Lisa, go play. Or, that's just Bobby Jones's little sister. Or, that's the 5th Jones child. Not often was she ever told of her importance, and when she tried to express herself, it didn't really come out so well. And she was forced to maybe stop using her voice. And that's how she lost it is, when you stop using something, you oftentimes lose it. That's coaching tip number 1. If you don't use it, you lose it. And so Lisa, while sitting in court, started to have these flashbacks of when she had a crush on the guy, and when she was a freshman and she never said anything, and he asked her best friend out. She still never said anything about that. She just thought, it's just life. And then she thought about when she was a junior and she really wanted to join the debate team, an opportunity for her to use her voice, but somehow people didn't think that she would be able to do it because she didn't speak up much at all. And then she thought about her senior year when there was an award that she was up for, and she thought, oh my God, if I get this award, then I'm not going to be able to accept it because I can't speak for myself. And so when the time came, she ran to the bathroom, and her mother had to accept the award for her. And then she thought about when she was in college and the opportunities she had, and she never spoke up for herself, and she still just kept losing her voice. And so she married this guy who seemingly listened to her, and or at least some of the stuff she said, but after a while, it was apparent that he wasn't so great for her, and he stopped listening. And so as she started to go through this, while she's sitting there waiting for the case, and she started having all these flashbacks and just started remembering all the times she didn't use her voice, She thought she lost it. And so if there was ever a chance she needed to stick up for herself, it was now, because her ex-husband was accusing her of being an unfit mother, and he was saying she couldn't speak up enough to take care of their kids, and she heard him giggle and snort as he walked by her, sitting there waiting patiently. And she just said, if I could just speak up this one time, maybe, just maybe it'll change my life. Maybe, just maybe it'll help me be me. And she got up and she saw her attorney come in, and she walked in the courtroom. And so came time for the judge to give the decision, and he said, is there anything else, Miss Lisa, that you'd like to say? And her heart started racing, and her hands started sweating, and her mouth started to get really dry because she didn't think she could do it, and her ex-husband knew she wouldn't. And he looked at his attorney and hunched him, and she looked at her attorney, and he nodded, and she said, yes, Your Honor, I would like to say something. And her voice trembled because for the first time in a lot of years, she was actually speaking up for herself. And this was something she hadn't done in years, and she didn't know if she could do it, but she knew that losing her child was a thing she couldn't stand. And so she said, Your Honor, I've really not spoken up for myself a lot. But that doesn't mean that I'm incompetent like my ex-husband proposes. I haven't spoken up for myself a lot, Your Honor, but that doesn't mean I'm dumb or I'm unfit to be my son's mother. I love him and I've nurtured him and I've trained him and I love him. And I am a fit mother for him. And the judge was impressed and her husband was shocked. And her attorney kind of looked like, wow. And the few supporters that she had in the courtroom even looked like, is that Lisa? And she smiled a little and a tear ran down her eyes. She realized that all her life she'd been allowing other people to tell her what was best for her and to speak for her what they thought was best for her and say about her what they believed about her. And she never corrected them. She never told them anything different. She just went along until this one day when she realized everything she'd loved was at stake. And if she didn't speak up, her life would not only be the same as it had been, but it'd be worse because the one thing that meant more to her than anything was her son, and she was about to lose him. The judge took in consideration her words and said, okay, Miss Lisa, this is what I'll do. I will give you your son. You will be custodial parent. And he went on to rule in her favor. Her ex-husband couldn't believe it. She couldn't believe it. But for the first time, something turned out for her right because she spoke up for herself. Didn't matter if she was right or wrong. She just knew at this moment her life was too precious and the outcome of what was going to happen to her son was too important for her to just let it go. So she did the one thing she'd always feared. She spoke up for herself. Now, I don't know what's going on in your life, but I can guarantee you that either you've come out of a storm, you're going into a storm, or one is looming for you to go into. And the way to come out of that storm, no matter if it's fear, insecurity, if it's poverty, if it's a messed up mindset, is you've got to begin to speak up for yourself. And sometimes the person that you have to speak to is you. I told you that I was going to be giving you a surprise, which I'm launching a coaching program beginning in November. And in this coaching program, I'm going to help you become the best version of you before 2017 gets here. I'm going to help you now so that 2017 is the most amazing year for you. Whether it's finding the love of your life, losing weight, starting a business, finding a job, or if it's just thinking better, your words have power. And I'm going to, in this 6-week course, teach you how to get your life back. Speaking peace and prosperity over yourself, one word at a time. I want you to just stay encouraged, continue to go forward and know that your words can change your life. And all you have to do is open your mouth. Thank you so much for watching. I'm so grateful to have you in my tribe. I wish you nothing but the best. And let's get started making 2017 your best year.